The Galactic Council's first assessment of humanity was underwhelming. A young species, barely 500 years into space travel, offering to join the Collective Defense Initiative. Their ships were crude, their weapons primitive, and their tactics, according to the Valerian military analysts, charmingly optimistic. Commander Z.H. Kara of the Valerian Defense Fleet barely glanced at the human delegation's proposal. "We appreciate your enthusiasm," she said, mandibles clicking with barely concealed condescension. "But the SCR-1N incursion requires experienced military forces. Perhaps in a few centuries, when you've matured." Captain James Harrison, humanity's representative, simply nodded. "We understand. The offer stands if you change your mind." 3 months later, the SCR-1N tore through the Valerian outer colonies like they were paper. The Council's combined fleets engaged in what should have been a decisive battle at the Theta Persei system. They lost. Badly. The SCR-1N were unlike anything the galaxy had faced, adaptive, ruthless, and utterly overwhelming. They analyzed enemy tactics mid-battle and evolved countermeasures instantly. The Valorians' precision formations became predictable targets. The Zenthians' defensive screens were systematically dismantled. The Corvin's superior numbers meant nothing against an enemy that learned from every casualty. Within 6 months, 17 species faced extinction. The Council convened in emergency session, desperation finally overcoming pride. They sent the call to every member species, including the ones they dismissed. Earth's response arrived within hours: "We're on our way." The human fleet that emerged from hyperspace at the besieged world of Valoria Prime was modest. 30 ships against the SCR-1N armada of 300. Council observers prepared to witness humanity's noble but futile sacrifice. They witnessed something else entirely. The human fleet didn't engage in the organized formations the SCR-1N had learned to counter. They scattered, each ship moving independently, chaotically. When the SCR-1N adapted to target the nearest vessel, the humans changed tactics completely, some ships retreating while others attacked from impossible angles. "What are they doing?" Z.H. Kara demanded, watching her tactical displays struggle to track the human vessels. "There's no pattern, no coordination. It's random." "No," her analyst breathed, understanding dawning. "It's unpredictable. The SCR-1N can't adapt to chaos." Human ships fought like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. One moment a destroyer would charge directly at a SCR-1N dreadnought, the next it would retreat and provide cover fire from maximum range. Fighter wings split and reformed in patterns that seemed to defy tactical logic. Ships damaged beyond any reasonable threshold for withdrawal kept fighting, kept changing, kept refusing to follow any doctrine the SCR-1N could analyze. But it was more than chaos. When a human cruiser was cornered, 3 others materialized from different vectors, not following any predetermined formation, but reacting, adapting, thinking independently while somehow maintaining cohesion. How are they coordinating? Z.H. Kara's confusion was palpable. The answer came when they intercepted human communications. The crews weren't following orders from a centralized command. They were talking to each other, arguing, suggesting, improvising in real time. "Echo 7, you've got 3 on your 6, I'm coming in hot." "Negative, I'll draw them toward the debris field. Delta Squadron, can you flank?" "Already on it, but I've got a better idea." Individual initiative combined with collective cooperation. Every captain a strategist, every crew a tactical unit, every engagement a new experiment. The SCR-1N's adaptive algorithms couldn't process an enemy that reinvented itself every 30 seconds. The Battle of Valoria Prime ended in a SCR-1N retreat, the first in the war. Admiral Chen's explanation to the stunned council was simple: "We've been fighting each other for our entire history. Humans, I mean. 10,000 years of warfare taught us something: the side that adapts fastest wins. We didn't invent rigid formations and standard tactics because they got people killed. We learned to be unpredictable because predictability is a death sentence. Word spread. The species that arrived late to the galactic community had something older civilizations had lost, the ability to embrace controlled chaos. Within a year, human advisors were attached to every council fleet, teaching their doctrine of creative disorder. The Valorians learned to break formation. The Zenthians discovered the power of individual initiative. The Corvin understood that sometimes the best plan was having no plan. The Scrwnen, who had conquered through adaptation, faced enemies who adapted faster. They retreated to the galactic rim and never returned. 5 years after being dismissed as naive newcomers, Earth commanded the largest military training facilities in known space. Species that had perfected warfare over millions of years sent their best soldiers to learn from humans who'd perfected it through necessity. The galaxy's assessment changed drastically. Humanity wasn't charming or optimistic. They were survivors of an eternal crucible who'd turned their greatest weakness, their tendency toward conflict, into their greatest strength. The Valerian Defense Academy now taught human military philosophy as its core curriculum. The first lesson every cadet learned: perfect tactics create predictable battles. Humans taught us that chaos, guided by purpose, is the ultimate weapon. ZH Kara, now retired, watched human instructors drill her grandchildren in creative tactical thinking. She approached Captain Harrison, now Admiral Harrison, at a ceremony. "We were fools to dismiss you," she admitted. Harrison smiled gently. "You were lucky we're better at forgiving than we are at fighting. Though we're pretty good at both." Earth had entered the galactic stage as the newcomer no one took seriously. They'd become the species everyone hoped would remain their ally, because the alternative was too terrifying to contemplate. Humanity had weaponized the one thing that made them dangerous to themselves: their inability to stop evolving, adapting, and finding new ways to win.